So I recorded this video a few times and I realized that I have to break it down in a different way than I've been recording it. While I was trying to edit it, I went off on a bunch of different tangents, but I want to talk about gas and gas prices. And I want to start off with a story. When I was about 16 years old, I was delivering ice and water. And right about that time, gas went from $1 per gallon up to $2 per gallon. And I know some of you are thinking right now, I wish gas was $2 a gallon. Well, for the point of the story, gas is $2 a gallon. We were doing deliveries of ice and water, and we would deliver all over Long Island. And one of the things that we would do is every day we would go to the same places. We had a route. We had a set number of places that we would go to. Well, unfortunately, on Monday, when we walked into those stores, the bags of ice that we were selling were $1 for 6 pounds. Pretty good price. Even now, when you go to a gas station, it's not really much more expensive than that. It's probably about $1.75 to $2, depending on the gas station or the place that you're at. I digress. So in that time, from Monday to Wednesday, gas jumped up from about $1.25 a gallon to about $2 a gallon. I don't remember why it jumped up. I wish I could for the purpose of this story, but I can't. What ended up happening is by Friday, when we went to the same exact places, we were giving them bills for up to 25% higher for their ice. Now, of course, you can imagine as a 16-year-old walking in, handing a 40-year-old man a bill that's 25% higher, and he finishes chewing my head off for how he doesn't want to pay that, and insert expletives here. I know firsthand how the change in gas prices is going to affect someone's business. So ice and water goes up by about 25%. Now, the consumer didn't feel that 25% bump. The consumer felt about, a 35% bump because the person who was buying the ice was charging about $1.35 for that same bag of ice that we were charging them $1.25 for. So how does that correlate to right now? Well, a lot of you are being very short-sighted, and you're looking at the gas situation as if it's one small inconvenience. And I understand the point behind, okay, gas is a little bit more expensive. But I also understand that there was a point in my life where I had to make a decision between feeding my child and feeding my dogs and feeding myself. So, unlike some of you, I understand what it's like to be piss poor. It fucking sucks. I would not be feeding myself because I couldn't afford gas right now. This morning I spent almost $60 to fill my gas tank. Now, if I was still a struggling dad and I had $60 left, I wouldn't have been putting it in gas. I would have had to feed my dogs and my child. And I know some of you were like, well, you should have found a better job. Well, I was working for, at that time, a multi-million-dollar corporation. It's since become a billion-dollar corporation. And I had a good job. The problem was my bills, lawyer bills, car insurance, adds up fast. I'm not saying that to get your, boo-hoo, poor you. I'm saying that because there's some people right now that are in that situation. And as the price of gas goes up, as I mentioned in my previous story, the cost of goods also goes up. Which means if I was paying $60 right now to fill up my gas tank, and actually, this is better for instance. Katie went to the grocery store for us yesterday, and the same stuff that we paid last week $130 for cost her $175. Think about that for a second. The cost of fuel went up over the weekend. The cost of goods on Monday went up exponentially already. So I know some of you think that it's a great idea to, pay more for gas because it shows how virtuous we are. But I ask you to change your thought there because there's a lot of struggling people out there that a bump in gas to make you feel better as you sit behind your keyboard and you work from home and you tell people not to worry about gas prices is going to cripple them. It really is. And that means eventually you're going to feel it too because some people won't be able to get to work, which means businesses are going to have to start paying people more money to get employees. I know what you're thinking. That's great because people should be getting paid more. And while I agree with that, I would challenge you this. If you're somebody who has employees, start paying them more. And better yet, if you're somebody who thinks they're worth more money and thinks their employer, who maybe makes 6-7 figures a year, should be paying more, I want you to walk into their office after watching this video. And I want you to demand that you and the rest of the employees there get more money for what you're doing. And I want you to comment what happens after that conversation happens. Tell me about your job security. Tell me how your boss looked at you and said, well, show me here why you deserve a raise, because that's going to happen. So it's a really long rant, and I tried to cut it down because there's a lot of different ways that I went with this the first couple times I shot it. There's the excuse of other countries pay whatever. There's the excuse of, well, it's for the right reasons. It's for humanitarian reasons. And whatever the excuse is that you want to tell yourself to justify a single mom or someone on a fixed income barely being able to afford their bills, that's fine. That's on you. I was in a situation where I understand what it's like to not know if you're going to be able to pay your bills, to not know if you're going to be able to feed your family. And now that I'm not, I don't look at things the way that you people look at things. I don't look at things the same way somebody who makes $1 million a year looks at things. Someone who has a salary and has the ability to work from home and drove their car 10 times over the past year. That's not how I look at things. I'm asking you to look at gas and how it's not necessarily impacting you, but impacting the people who don't have in this country. Because I'm pretty sure that throughout all your virtual, you're not paying for anyone's groceries, you're not buying gas for anyone, you're not doing any of those things that you're nodding to the world that they should be doing. You're looking up. You're looking from the people that are making 6 figures to the people that are making 7 figures. And the people from that are making 7 figures are looking to the people that are making 8 figures to change the world. Well, here's the thing. You want to sit behind your keyboard and talk about everyone else complaining about the price of gas and not leave your house. You want to be afraid to go out in the world because of whatever your beliefs are, and we're not here to judge you for that. But what I am here to say is, as the cost of gas rises, the cost of groceries, clothing, and really everything is going to go up. So if you're comfortable saying fuck you to a single mom or a single dad trying to make ends meet, good for you. If you're comfortable saying fuck you to a senior citizen on a fixed income trying to get groceries, good for you. If you're comfortable looking around at the people that are struggling that you may or may not know are struggling and saying, fuck you, it's better for another country that you pay more in the gas station, well, then from the rest of them and me, fuck you. And fuck you hard with a sandpaper dildo.